Hi, I'm fantasy author Samantha Jo, and I wanted to just come on here and introduce myself and welcome you all to my channel. So first and foremost, I'm an independent author. I'm writing fantasy. I'll probably eventually dabble into a little bit of sci-fi, but really fantasy and all things nerdy are my jam, and that's what you're gonna find here. This channel is really about sharing the entire process with the world. Partly because when I decided to become an author myself, I found that there was a lot of information out there, but not always completely accurate and not always complete. So my goal here is to share with you the process of creating a book as an independent author from start to finish. Now, I don't just write full-length novels, although that's what you can see back here is my full-length novel. It's called Vessel Bonded Earth Book 1. I'm currently working on Catalyst Bonded Earth Book 2, so you'll get to see that process with me. But I'm also going to take you on the little journey as I create short stories to share, probably as serialized fiction on a couple of different websites that are really good for that. And when I get to that point, I'm definitely going to share that with you. I've also written a novella that goes with this series, and we'll talk about what novellas are and why I decided to make this little mini novella in between the first and second book. And then I'm also going to show you start to finish my newest work in progress. It has a working title right now, and the working title is Vicious Little Creature, and it only exists up here. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to be putting it down on paper and putting it into my word processing system. I use a system called Bibisco, which I think is fantastic for authors, particularly new authors, so we'll cover that. And then from there, I'll show you how to format it properly and to contact a cover artist and to really finalize the whole thing, how to market it, how to get it out there into the world, how to take it to book shows and get people to actually want to buy it. You're gonna be here with me for the entire process, and it's gonna be so great. I'm really excited to just kind of build community and forge some deeper connections with people. I do other social media. Right now I'm on Blue Sky. I'm desperately trying to figure out Substack. This video might end up on Substack someday and you guys will be like, hey, you figured it out. I have a profile on Instagram. I'm not active, and I'm not on TikTok at all anymore. Long story short there, it was very stressful for me. I'm not somebody who likes casual interactions. I'm also not somebody who likes having to deal with like trolls who watch 5 seconds worth of what you say and then just like scream at you in the comments. So I'm hoping that doing some of these longer form videos will give me a chance to actually talk and breathe some life into the concepts and ideas that I want to share with everybody. It'll give us a chance to build community. And maybe if you're on this journey, you can ask me some questions and learn what it's like to be an indie author, see what a day-to-day life is like for an indie author. So a few disclaimers. I don't sell courses or anything like that. I think they're fantastic. And there are definitely some people out there who are really great at that, who are going to they have so much to offer you. This channel is going to be just community. We're just community. We're just sharing. I want you to be on my journey. I do want you to learn from me, especially if you're trying to figure this out for the first time. But I don't have anything necessarily to sell to you. Books, if you decide you want to check out my books. But that's the first thing. The second thing is obviously be nice. If you disagree with something I say, that's okay. I can handle disagreements. I just don't like people screaming at me and personally attacking me in the comments. There's way too much of that on the internet. We all deserve a space to just kind of be soft and talk to each other like humans. Third, I'm a writer, but I am also a human being outside of that. So I'm going to share some book reviews, some things that I've read that are really fantastic, maybe some artwork that I have found that I'm absolutely in love with. Maybe you'll go on a hike. I might introduce you to my menagerie of animals, but I just want this to be a cool, fun space for us to find each other and to connect. One more caveat is that I will tell you, indie publishing is going to be different from one person to the next. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. There's lots of different ways that independent authors can create their work and then can bring it into the world. So I'm going to be focusing on my journey. I've already been through this the first time around. I did a ton of research. I've been at this for a couple of years now, which is admittedly not a long time, but the point is that I've done lots of research on the different publishing format, the different ways that you can interact and reach readers. So I'm going to share with you my journey. There are tons of other authors on this platform and others who are going to maybe do things a little bit differently than I do. And that's just because writing is an art as much as it is a set of skills. And just like any other art, the artist is going to approach it differently. So you might hear me say something, or you're like, oh, I've never seen that before, or the other authors that I follow don't do that. That's okay. We're all allowed to approach it a little bit differently. I watch those other authors, I watch those videos, and I learn from them too. So that doesn't mean that my way is the only way. It just means that it's my way. It also bears to mention that I may not stay an indie author for the duration of my career. I'll go a little bit more in depth in a future video and let you guys kind of know like the thought process behind why I decided to become an indie author versus a traditionally published or a hybrid author. That was yet another area where I did a ton of research before I made the final decision. I attended a couple of workshops where we discussed like actual facts, dollars and cents and timelines and creative process. And after kind of learning everything, I just felt like at this time being an indie author is the right choice for me. And there's nothing wrong with traditional publishing. It is something that I'm still considering in the future. So that there's no shade here being thrown at traditional authors or traditional publishers. That is something that's kind of like in the back of my mind, but I've given myself my own timeline. I've said that I want to give it at least 18 months, at least 2 novels, a couple of short stories, a really intensive push to get myself out there to see if I can start building a reader base on my own. And if I can be successful at that, that's really the only thing I feel like I need assistance with at this point. I have an editor that I work with who's fantastic, who I feel like I can continue working with him for, you know, the foreseeable future. I have a couple of graphic artists that I'm working with in terms of character, art, maps, book covers, and I know how to find the people who can do those things for me. I don't necessarily need a traditional publisher to help me with that. So there are still some benefits to traditional publishing that I haven't quite reached yet. And if I can't get to that point where I have the reach and the distribution that a traditional publisher can give me, then I might consider it in the future. But right now, I'm an indie author. I'm loving the process. I'm so happy to be here. I love meeting readers. I love doing book shows. I love talking about the books that get me excited. So yeah, if you're here, welcome. I hope you stick around. I'm going to post regularly, maybe semi-regularly sometimes. I am a writer. Writing is my full-time job, but I'm hoping to be able to earmark enough time to invite you guys along with me and to start to kind of build some community around this. So be sure to drop a comment. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's just be super corny. Tell me your name and maybe where you're from, a state or a country or a city, whatever you feel like sharing. And then tell me the best book that you've read recently. It doesn't have to be like good, but what's your favorite thing that you've read recently? I'll share mine with you. Obviously, you know I'm Samantha. I am from Ohio in the northeastern region of the United States, if you're coming from international. My favorite thing that I have read recently, probably my favorite thing that I have read recently is going to be the Paladin Strength, which is in the Kingfisher series, the Saint of Steel series. It's the second book in the series. It's a fantasy romance, and I finished it a couple weeks back. And I've read some other things, but they just weren't my favorites. I'm still going to talk about them and like let you know what they were and how I felt. That's probably my favorite. Right now, I'm currently reading Emily Rath's North is the Night. I'm listening to the audiobook version of that, and so far it is really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's Finnish folklore fantasy, I think is the easiest way to describe it. Very good though. And today, oh, I'm so excited. I have to share it with you. I'm like a week late, I know, but I get to go pick up Emily Wilde. I'm obsessed with this series. It's the Emily Wilde series. So the first one is the Encyclopedia of Fairies. The second one is Map of the Otherland. So I've read both of those. And last week, the Compendium of Lost Tales. Did I get that right? I've talked about so many books today. So anyway, it's the third book in the series. I'm very excited to go pick it up. The covers are gorgeous. The story is amazing. I can't wait to catch up with Emily and Wendell and see what they're up to. So that's me for today. Thanks for watching. Happy reading.